Asman just to find a better global economy without much help from the locomotive, the United States. The locomotives are broad right now. If we get a Casman sub 3% U.S. GDP, what does that do to the policymakers who I believe have to get reelected at some point?
I think you would like to think that it would put more urgency, try to help to accelerate the sense of urgency. However, they are trying to do really difficult things. Healthcare is complex, tax reform, even more complex, I would argue. More winners and losers. You already see the lobbyists, the special interests coming out of the woodwork in terms of advocating for their provisions to be retained in a tax reform bill. So while you would like to think that it would put some pressure on policymakers to advance pro-growth legislation, I think that what they're doing is really difficult. And I think regardless of what's happening in the economy, it doesn't change that fact.
Libby, Dan Iverson, your COO, talking about the fact that it's going to get hard to get any of this done before the midterms. Would you agree with that? And do we get any of it done in the second half of this administration? Is it even possible?
Yeah, I think what Dan was saying was that, these things, again, inherently difficult, are being made that much more difficult by the distraction of the Russia investigation, by the president's pretty low approval ratings. So, whether things get done before the midterms, I think it's a little bit too early to say. However, I think our view at Pimco is even if we do see action on tax reform, it's going to be a lot smaller, a lot less bold, and probably will be longer dated than what at least some segments of the market had expected.
Let's come back.